Hey guys! So this video is for the beginning band, and we're going to be going over number 44, which has two brand new things in it. It has something called slurs and something called dotted half notes. So we're going to go over both of those things so that you understand how to play them and to play the song. So the first question is, what is that curved line you now see in your music? If you've looked at your music, you see that it's full of curved lines. And normally, those curved lines are ties. And as we know, a tie joins two notes of the same pitch, so the same note, together to make one long note. So if you look at the box above my head, you see there are two F half notes tied together, which would make them a longer note. And as we know, we add the two notes, so one half note's 2 beats, so 2 plus 2 equals 4. So that tied note up there, that F, would get 4 beats of sound. But that's a little different than what we see in number 44. In number 44, we see two different notes with that curved line. And when you have two different notes with a curved line, like you see off to the side, that is called a slur. And our box says connects notes of different pitch. Tongue only the first note. So you now have two different notes. So instead of the tie like we saw above, which that tie up there, it would just sound like this. It would go 1, 2. That's how you do a tie. But a slur is connecting the two different notes. So if we look at the box, we have an F slurred to an A, and that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you notice that I didn't stop the air in between the two notes? I kept it going the entire time. I tongued the first note. I tongued the F, but I didn't tongue the A. I just kept my air going like I'm saying two really long. Like, two. You don't stop. Is how a slur works. If it didn't have a slur, it would sound like this. But with the slur, so I hope you hear that difference. There's no space. You just keep the air going the whole time. And you can try that with any notes, any two notes. So if you have your instrument, pick it up. Try slurring different notes together and just keeping the air going with no space in between. But now the next thing we're going to go over is the dotted half note. So you can see that it looks like a normal half note over there, but it has a dot next to it. And whoever named this note was not very creative, just calling it a dotted half note. Come on. But that dot is super important because it means it's not a normal half note. It does not get 2 beats of sound. Our dotted half note actually gets 3 beats of sound. So now we know our quarter notes get 1 beat, half notes get 2 beats, dotted half notes get 3 beats, and our whole note gets 4 beats. So you know a type of note for every number 1 through 4. And we're going to take a look at that box that's on top of this page, and it's going to teach us about our dots. So it says dotted half note. And then it says a dot following a note increases its length by half of its value. So that dot next to the half note equals half of the value of it. So if our half note got 2 beats, half of 2 is, hopefully you said 1. So half of 2 is 1. And that's how much your dot gets. So the half note is 2 beats, plus the dot, which was 1 beat, equals 3 beats. And that's how we get 3. And you can see on the top as well in the box, they have the half note tied to a quarter note, because that is what a dotted half note is. It's just connecting it to make one longer note. Remember, a tie is when they're the same note. When it's a slur, they're 2 different pitches, 2 different notes. So our dotted half note gets 3 beats of sound, and it would sound like this. So it's just a long note, 3 beats. So that brings us to number 44, Slurs and Dots. And above me, you will see the clarinet music, because I'm playing the clarinet in this video. But your music is the same if you're not a clarinet or a trumpet. Your slurs are in the same spots, and your dotted half notes are in the same spot. So the first thing I want us to do is take a look at our time signature, because that's always the first thing you should check. And remember, that's off in the beginning, back in the left, and it's right next to your treble or bass clef, and it's these numbers right here. So our time signature is 4/4, which tells us we have 4 beats in every measure, so we're counting to 4. So the next thing I want you to check is see how many slurs you have in this song. And remember, that slur is that curved line connecting 2 different notes. So take a second, look through, and count how many slurs you have. Let's take a look. So I see 1 in the beginning, 2 over here, 3, and 4. And you might notice that in this music, they look kind of like smiley faces. The eyes are like uneven. But yeah, our slurs and our ties, they're happy, they look like smiley faces. So we see 4 of those. Now I want you to keep looking and see how many dotted half notes you see in the song. And let's take a look. I see 1, 2, and 3. So there's 4 slurs and 3 dotted half notes. So the very first thing you want to practice when doing the song is the first 2 notes, that slur. And just getting. And just do that a couple times. And then because the first 2 are slurred, but you got to tongue that 3rd and 4th note. So after you've mastered the first measure, then and make sure that dotted half note gets 3 beats. So now I'm going to play from the beginning. I'm going to go all the way to that breath mark that you see in the middle of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the trickiest part in that section is going to be the 2 slurs and counting to 3 for your dotted half notes. Count in your head. Bounce if you need, like you see me doing. And then in the next half, we get some 8th notes. So just be very careful. Count very, very carefully. So now I'm going to start in the beginning. I'm going to play the whole song for you. But remember, when you practice it, do it in sections. Do a couple measures at a time. If you want to try the whole thing, go for it. But make sure you listen. Make sure you're careful with the dotted half notes, the slurs, and your 8th notes. This is the entire song. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all of number 44, slurs and dots. Make sure you pay attention while watching this video so you understand these two new concepts, your slurs and your dotted half notes. So now that you've gone through this video, you are ready to go practice number 44. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye, guys.